Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today I've came away for a little bit of R&R. I'm on my own, my wife Sue is still working, so I thought while I'm away I shall bring a couple of rations away with me and do a couple of reviews. Now I've brought with me today a SRG Polish Menu 6, the 24-hour pack. And as you know, or probably know, it contains a breakfast, lunch and dinner. So I thought what I'll do is while I'm away, I'll use these for one day's food supply and see how well they do. So I'm going to have this for breakfast and I'm going to get this open, have a proper look and show you what we have inside. So let's have a look at this Polish S.R.G 6, and it has a set of instructions or contents in Polish, English and French. Sorry if you're getting a little bit of glare. I have a skylight above the camera and the sun's just coming straight through on that. But I'm going to be following the meal suggestions within the packet. Now in here it says there's a patty with poultry, Hungarian goulash, meatballs in tomato sauce and English stew, along with a load of other contents. So let's have a look and see exactly what they look like. Now I'm not on my usual sort of table, I'm on a fold away table for my motorhome, so you'll have to excuse any vibration or wobble that might occur. And in there, it's very full. So let's have a look what we have. So we have an accessory pack and 4 cups. A set of cutlery, and it's a full set of knife, fork, spoon and small spoon. I'm not sure what flavour these are. I'll put a translate on them in a moment, but I think that's an instant tea. Another spoon set, and I'm sure these are crackers. And another spoon set. 3 spoon sets, 1 for each meal. There is a stove, put that slightly to one side. That looks like another instant tea. And another instant tea. As I say, I've got my translator on my phone. I shall translate what all of these are. Another instant tea perhaps? And maybe a fifth. There's a lot of drinks there. Be interesting to translate them and find out what they all are. Oh, chocolate. I've seen these on the other ration reviews and I've been dying to get my hands on one. I am a chocolate fan, so it'd be nice to try that. Again, I think that might be another drink, a nice tonic or sports type drink. I'll translate when I use them. This is one of the main meals. I'm wondering if that is Anglaise, as in English, so that might be the English stew. I shall find out when I use my phone. And there's another pack of crackers. Another one of the mains. Okay, not sure which, but I shall find out. The third main, 300 grams. I'm running out of space on my little table. Oh, The old teeth breakers, more of the hardtack biscuits. Let's just put those there. And that could be either jam or honey in a nice little Ziploc bag. This could be the pate or luncheon meat type ingredients. I am struggling in the confines of my van, please excuse me. And another packet of biscuits. I think that one is the honey, so this one must be the jam. And some sort of fruit bar. And there is I think that is a menu and content sheet, which I shall be following for my meals. So, this is the contents of the Polish S.R.G 6. I shall be using these, as I say, for my 24-hour food supply today, and I'll film each of the meals, show you what they look and taste like. So, I'm going to get a tray and I'm going to start off with my breakfast. Before breakfast, I thought it would be nice to have a look at the contents of the accessory pack and the stove. So, you can see from the outside there is 4 cups. Let's just slit the bag. And let's see what we get in here. As we say, straight off, there's 4 cups. I can see 1, 2, 3 xylitol gum. There are 3 vitamin C sweets or candies. There are 3 coffee sweets. 3 of everything, 3 meals. There are 3 wet naps. A sugar. Two salt and 2 pepper. There's a little supply of Ziploc bags, I'm sure it's for rubbish, and a smaller, flimsier bag, possibly for leftovers, or vice versa, for leftovers and for rubbish. Just put those in there for a moment. Now, I'm not sure about my translate, but these may be coffees. They certainly feel like a coffee. And a little napkin or TP. I'll just put those in there for a moment. Okay, so that's the accessory pack. Let's have a quick look at the stove. And there's a full set of instructions on how to use the stove, put it together. But we get 12 fuel blocks, the fold-up stove itself, three very large windproof matches, stormproof matches. They're much larger than the British NATO ones. little pack of standard matches. They are small, very small, small head. I think that is a handle to help you lift the things off the heat, lift the tins off the heat, and again another rubbish bag. So that's the contents of the accessory pack and the stove. Now let's get that down to breakfast. So let's get my breakfast, and I've followed the advice on the menu meal suggestion, and we have here pork and turkey pate, some honey, Hungarian goulash which I've pre-warmed and cracked the lid ready, some crisp breads, and a lemon tea, which it does say mixed with cold water, so it's probably more like a lemon drink. I have some salt and pepper just in case, and one of the three, the coffee, the vitamin C and the chewing gums just in case. So first off, I'm going to need some cutlery, so let's have a look at one of these knife, fork, spoon sets. Now, there's a napkin, nice size napkin, good size napkin, and the usual knife, fork, spoon, but I must say, very flimsy. Not the best quality at all. So let's put those out of the way for a moment, and we'll start off with the drink using one of the cups. And as I say, this is a lemon tea, but mixed with cold water. Now I do have one of the rubbish bags or trash bags to use on the side there, and there is a lot of coarse granules. Now for a lemon drink, it's looking very brown, but we shall go ahead and add the water. Very granular. That's about 250 mils, half of a 500 ml bottle. It's not dissolving very well, and it does say cold water on the instructions. I checked with the translate. Okay, that seems to have gone now. Very dark looking, like you'd expect for a tea. Strong smell of lemon. But a very light lemon flavour. There's no tea flavour there whatsoever, but a very, very light natural tasting lemon, but very, very low in the background. Not too sweet, not too strong. Okay, I'll use this napkin just to dry everything as I go. Next I think is we'll open some of these crisp breads. They're very light, floaty, fly away. We'll just get 3 out for now. And we'll have a look at the pork and turkey pate. It's a nice creamy looking consistency. There's a nice pork smell coming from that already. And last of all, the Hungarian goulash. As I said, I've pre-boiled this. Wow, wonderful smell coming from that. I shall just give that a little stir. Looks like it's separated. I think it's best poured out onto the tray. Nice healthy portion. Wow. A lot of meat. A lot of meat. A lot of vegetables. Nice smell. I shall open the honey. I'm getting in a mess already. Oh. That's starting to recrystallise, so we'll give that a little bit of a stir. See if I can just help break that up a little bit. Very crystalline. Feels like lumps of sugar in there. Okay, so we'll come back to that in a minute. Now, where shall we start? I think we should start with the pate. Now, very smooth, very spreadable. Have a smell. Slight hint of liver smell there, and taste on its own. Certainly more of a chicken or turkey flavour. A slight aftertaste of liver, but not too strong, not too overpowering. It's very, very lightly seasoned. Just try a little bit now on the crisp bread. I should try the crisp bread first on its own. Very light, very nice tasting. It's reminiscent of the sort of crisp bread you can buy in stores. A nice light alternative to biscuit. So have a taste now with the pate. Goes very well with the pate. I'll have another bite of that. Very nice pate. Very smooth. Slight hint of liver in the background, but not overpowering like some. It's very nice. Let's leave that knife there. Let's come back to this tea. It's very refreshing. Very refreshing. Not a tea taste at all. It's just like a very, very diluted lemon flavour, but a natural lemon flavour. Okay, now the goulash. I can see tomatoes in there. I think it's potatoes, mushroom, possibly. Lots of meat. Let's have a good old piece of it there. Lots of meat, lots of tomatoes. Looks like a little bit of bell pepper. Very light flavoured. Not overly spiced. Peppered, salted. A little bit of the juice. Very light sauce. Very light tomato sauce. The beef. Try a little bit on the cracker. The beef is cooked, but it's still got texture. It still has that meat texture to it. You still need to chew that beef, but not too long. You do need good teeth, or you'd need to be able to chew reasonably well to manage that. It'd be no good for grandma in her dentures, or granddad in his dentures. But if you've got a general sort of healthy teeth, that's fine. that piece was quite chewy, but in a nice way. It is beef, you can tell it's beef. Personally, I think it does need the addition of a little salt. It's very, you know, tomato sauce based dishes, when there's lacking salt, it has that feel about it. Let's give it half a pack of that salt. Mix it in. Much better, much better. I'm going to give it the addition of a little pepper. There's not a lot of pepper in them packets. Let's try again. Giving it a huge flavour lift. Certainly needed the salt and pepper in my opinion. Very, very mild without, not unpleasant, just lacking something. The salt and pepper has given that a much better lift. Very nice early morning meal. Come back to this honey. I'll say it's crystalline a little bit. Have a taste on its own. This may sound silly, but it's a very, very sweet honey. The honey I've had before in England, it's not generally as sweet as that. I'm beginning to wonder if some of these crystalline lumps is extra sugar. May well be extra sugar added into that honey. Still, there's not so much of a flavour of the flowers they've come from or the area they're on. Normally when I've had bees honey you get sort of a flower taste to it. Let's have a taste on the cracker. It sweetens those crackers, turns them into like an after meal pudding. But it's very, very granular, this honey, and those chunks, they don't actually feel like crystalline honey, they feel like sugar, chunks of sugar that may be added. But still, on the cracker adds a nice sweetness. Let's come back to this tea. Very nice palate cleanser, but very mild, very, very weak flavoured lemon. Now, I'll quickly have a look at these sweets because I do want to finish this. This is my breakfast. This is going to be my food for the day. So, the coffee sweet. It is dark. I've had these before. Last time I had them, they were very nice. And again, a very strong coffee flavour in a pleasant sort of way. As I've said before, I'm not a fan of coffee sweets, coffee candies, but these just have something about them. They're just very nice. It's like having an espresso coffee in your mouth, especially when you've got no coffee in the meal, just a cold tea. It's a welcome addition. Very nice, very nice. Excuse me, I just need to put them into the rubbish. It's almost a crying shame to waste these, but I'll just show you for this meal, my lunch and evening meal. I shan't eat them, I shall save them for later. Now this is the vitamin C candy. A bit of a, not the best name, a Dickie, but there you go. Different things mean different things in different countries. And I'm struggling to identify that flavour.
You'd think it'd be a raspberry or strawberry. It's a cherry. It's a cherry. Like cherry flavour. Just took a while to come through. Very nice. Very pleasant. Nice source of vitamin C. Nice way of having the vitamins. Very pleasant and sweet. Something very nice to suck on while you're walking along. And last but not least, let's have a look at the gum, xylitol. Again, 2 little bricks. Very small briquettes, very small. I should try just one. Oh, peppermint flavour. Very strong. Very pleasant, very palate clearing. Very, very nice gum. I shall save that one till after lunch, after my breakfast. But a very pleasant gum. So, all in all, a very pleasant start to the morning. Quick summary, recap. The mains are full of meat, full of peppers, tomatoes, a little bit lacking, I thought personally, on the salt and pepper. The addition of the salt and pepper really gave it a flavour boost. The meat is in chunks. If you get a large chunk, it is like you're eating a big proper slice of meat. You need to chew it before you can swallow. Proper hearty feel about it. The pate is very nice, very chicken pate, although it does say it's turkey and pork. There is a slight hint of liver in the background, but not too much. It's smooth, it's creamy, goes well on the crackers. Nice meal, nice pate. The crisp breads, light, floaty, nice flavour, nice texture, nice and dry. Sort of crackers, crisp bread you can buy in the stores. The honey, a little bit disappointed with the honey. To me, I'm not 100% sure, but to me that feels like there is granules of sugar added into the honey. Most natural honey I've had home in the UK has a sort of distinctive flavour of flowers. You could taste the pollen. There's no taste of that in this honey, just the crispy, crunchy sugar. Now, I've had crystalline honey before, but the crystals have never been that hard, and it does feel like a sugar crystal. But still, very pleasant on the crackers. And finally, the wet naps. Didn't use one. I'm sticky, so I'll use one now on the recap. Not the easiest to open, they are quite small. Oh, already broken, very flimsy, very weak, reasonably moist. A slight smell to them, a slight disinfectant smell, but nothing too overpowering. Does the job, but only just. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to quickly go off and finish this for my breakfast, and I'll return with my lunch. So, goodbye for now. Well, it's now lunchtime. I've been out for a little walk or hike, and I'm come back and I'm feeling rather hungry. So, I have here the midday meal. I have the chocolate. I'm going to have a coffee. There is meatballs in tomato sauce. The hard biscuits, the hardtack biscuits. And this is freeze-dried fruit. And again, another raspberry tea. Now, reading the instructions for the raspberry tea, on this packet it does tell you to use cold water. But on the instruction sheet that came in the pack, on the back it does actually tell you to use hot water. So I think you can use either hot or cold. But I'm going to go with what it says on the packet itself. It says cold water on the packet. So I'm keen to get started. So let's have a look what we have for lunch. I use the same set of knives and forks from breakfast. I can't see the point of opening another packet of exactly the same. And again, I'm going to start with the drinks, and I'm going for the raspberry tea. So like this morning's, oh, there's a very strong smell of raspberry there, and it's granular again like the lemon tea this morning. This time it does look raspberry in colour, and we will use cold water. About 250 mils again. And you can probably hear it's very granular, taking some dissolving. Nearly there. We'll have a quick look at that because I'm a little bit thirsty. As I said, I've just come in, I've been on a hike. Nice and pink. Nice smell of raspberry. Very much like the lemon tea this morning. There's a subtle hint of raspberry there. Not over strong, not over sweet. It's just a light, refreshing, cold raspberry drink. And just put the water lid on. I'm going to try one of the instant coffees. Very fine looking powder, not very granular. Very fine powder, and not a lot there, so I shouldn't imagine it takes a lot of water. And I do like mine sweet, so I'm going to put some of the sugar straight in. Not all of it, it is a rather big bag looking at that. So I'll just give it what I think is about a teaspoon. And this time, of course, I shall use some hot water. No whitener. Again, these Eastern European coffees don't tend to come with whiteners, which is a shame. I do like mine white, but we will go as it is. I've not put too much water in that because it didn't look like there was a lot of powder there. A non-distinctive smell, it doesn't really smell strong. Very mellow, very mild, cheap tasting instant coffee. Not, I wouldn't say it's a quality, but it does the job. It's a warm coffee of instant type. Okay, so this is what I thought was a drink in the unboxing, but it is actually dried fruits, mixed fruits. So we shall have a look at those. I think they are freeze dried. A nice mix in there. I can see strawberries and possibly pineapple, banana. I'll just pour those out. Nice mix of berries. Now, we've seen these before, the hard biscuits, but this particular meal says to have the rusks. So as I said, I'm following the meal suggestion. So there's a couple of the hardtack biscuits which we all know and love. Ooh, let's go for the chocolate. I'll leave the mains till last. I've been dying to open the chocolate. I do like chocolate. Dark 60% cocoa. Oh, it's broken off. That's very convenient. That's about the right amount for a start. So a nice dark looking chocolate. No bloom in there. Very nice fresh chocolate. Move the rest of that to one side. Now, the mains, and these are meatballs in tomato sauce. Now, straight away I peeled the lid, and it smells very similar to this morning's goulash. Let's wipe the spoon that I stirred my coffee with. And not the sort of tomato sauce I was expecting. I was expecting more like a baked beans type tomato sauce. It's much more thinner than that. Nice large meatballs, and I think we're going to need to empty those out. They are very hot. I do have to watch my fingers. Okay. 4 nice large meatballs. So let's start and have a look at this. Now I'm going to go straight for the mains. There is some large meatballs, and I'm going to use a knife and fork to cut them. They're very large. So straight away, the meatballs, they're light in colour, they're soft in texture, they're very ground, very processed. Let's revert back to the spoon. They don't have a texture of fresh meatballs by any means. Highly processed, highly minced. They don't really taste beefy. They're more like a pork, I think. I don't know whether they are. It just says meatballs in tomato sauce, but it doesn't seem like a beef. Very soft. Very processed. Not the sort of calibre of the meat of the breakfast with the goulash. Very highly processed. Let's have a taste of the tomato sauce. There's a few vegetables in there, a few carrots and onions, obviously some tomato, a few herbs. Again, a very soft, bland sauce. Not bland, there's plenty of flavour there. Lacking salt and pepper, I would say. A little bit of salt and pepper would perk those up. I do have a little bit of the salt left from this morning, so I shall sprinkle that on. Spread it around a bit. This is one of the first rations I've had recently that actually need the addition of the salt and pepper, in my opinion. Let's give these a little bit of a mix. Very difficult to do on the table I'm working on. Let's have another look with some salt and pepper added. Or salt, should I say. Much better. Much better. Now, have a sip of the coffee, just to clean my mouth. Those paper cups, they don't do the flavour of the coffee any justice. It's a strong taste of the paper, but the coffee's not a good one. Back to the old favourites, the hardtack biscuits with little caraway seeds in there. As always, hard as iron. Still need your side teeth to break them. Let's just try them in a little bit of the sauce. As I said before, just a floury, hard biscuit. Don't really add to the flavour, it's more of a bulking agent. I am going to break these up, drop them in the sauce, very hard. There is no jam or anything in this particular meal, that's being saved for the evening meal, so really there's only this you can eat the biscuits with. Now I'll leave those in there for a while and come back to them. Have a look at the raspberry drink. It's a very nice raspberry flavour, artificial flavour, no real fruit, but it's a nice cool refreshing drink on a hot day like today. Now, the dried fruit. Now, I don't know if you saw one of my recent videos on space food. I did some freeze-dried peaches. These are very, very similar to those. Very dry, very lightweight, almost like paper. Let's try strawberry. Has the texture of paper, rice paper, when it goes into your mouth, and then slowly mixes with your saliva. It comes back into a fruit. Let's see what that one's like. That was a piece of banana. Couldn't quite tell what that was until I tasted it, but obviously the flavour's there. Same, crispy, crunchy, reconstitutes back with a bit of saliva. It was pineapple. They're very flavourful. They do reconstitute back into the berries and the flavours. That's like a blackberry. I'll just try that one. Definitely a blackberry. Very nice snack. Reconstitutes back into fruit, very sweet fruit. Another cleansing. Now what I've been waiting for, the chocolate. Dark chocolate, quite soft today because of the heat. It's a very warm day again. Just what I expected. A nice, smooth, dark chocolate, melts in your mouth, coats your tongue. A nice quality about that. Certainly I'd buy that in the shop. Very nice chocolate. Very smooth in this hot weather. Not brittle, like on a cold day. So, briefly come back to one of these biscuits now. Now they've been in the juice a little bit. I softened them slightly, made them a little bit more easier to eat, a little bit more palatable. Still had no flavour to the juice, just a bulking agent for the meal. But much better. I'm going to do that with the other ones when I finish this. Okay, so brief recap of the lunchtime meal. The meatballs are very processed. They're not of the meat quality of the goulash. Think they're more pork and turkey types rather than beef. Few herbs, few spices. Very smooth, not the best quality. very cheap tinned style meatballs. The sauce, without the addition of the salt, it was a little bit on the flavourless side. I'm dripping it everywhere, I do apologise. With the addition of the salt, it picked it up, made it a little bit more flavour. But again, a few carrots in there, a few onions, a few tomatoes, a nice light sauce. Hard top biscuits, no introduction. Teeth breakers, caraway seeds, but you can hardly tell. Much better when put into the sauce. And left. Fruit is a very nice addition. Makes a change from some of the sweets and candies. Does actually reconstitute into nice fruit in your mouth. Strange texture, as all these freeze-dried fruits are, but very pleasant, very palatable. Chocolate, wonderful, as we expected. Nice dark, 60%. On a warm day like this, it's melts and it coats your tongue in a very nice fashion. Coffee is very nondescript, a light powder, cheap coffee, cheap coffee. You know it's a cheap coffee. In the paper cups, so that don't help. The paper taste of the paper is going into the coffee, so that makes it seem worse. And the raspberry. Cold water is definitely the way I think with this. Nice, light, refreshing raspberry drink. Okay, so that's my lunch meal out of the way. I'm going to turn the camera off now and finish this for my lunch. As I said, I'm going to feed myself for the full 24 hours on one pack. And I shall return later for the evening meal. So thank you and goodbye for now. Welcome to my evening meal. Now this is the last of my meals from the Polish S.R.G menu 6. It's 8 o'clock at night and this is the last of the 3 meals. Now here I have the English stew or English goulash. There is a pot of jam, strawberry jam I believe. The menu suggests the crisp breads. There is the cranberry fruit bar and a lime tea. So, like before, I'm going to start off with the beverages. Now, just for the interests of science, I'm going to try this one with hot water. Okay, so it looks very much like the tea for breakfast. There is a slight smell of lime to it already, and I'm going to add some hot water this time. It does seem to help it dissolve a little bit better. It's dissolved a lot quicker, and I'll just give that a few minutes to infuse and do its thing. So I think we shall also open the jam. Nice regular sort of strawberry looking jam, and we have the cranberry fruit bar. Mix the fruit bar that we've come to expect now with the rice paper. Okay, and we'll open the English stew or goulash. Now it's a much smaller tin, it's only 190 grams this one instead of the 300 grams of the previous 2. Now, I have warmed this thinking it was going to be a stew like the traditional English stew, which is gravy, vegetables, pork or beef. But this actually looks like it's a luncheon meat. Now it didn't say luncheon meat, so that's a surprise. It is a luncheon meat. So this isn't something we usually have warm. Certainly not a stew or goulash like the label says. Not at all what I was expecting. So, let's wipe my hands there. I'm going to actually make a taste of the English stew or English goulash. Absolutely nothing like an English stew, so I don't know where it got that name from. Looks more like a luncheon meat, and I'll give that a try. Now, it is a luncheon meat, and I'm sure before I warmed it up it was very, very nice. Being warm, it doesn't seem as nice as it should be. It's slightly salted. The oil has come out of it. It's made it a little bit oily. I'm sure it would have been nice before I warmed it. Let's try it with a bit of cracker. The cracker doesn't do anything to it, just gives it a little bit more bulking agent. Quite disappointing actually. I'm sure that would have been a very nice cold luncheon meat, but with it saying stew, that gave the impression to warm it, and it wasn't the way to go. So I don't think I'm going to be able to finish that. Maybe I'll leave it to go cold and I'll come back on that. Okay, so let's have a look at the... Oh, that's that spoon gone. Let's have a look at this jam. Strawberry looking jam. Nicely set. Very jellified. Let's have a taste of it on its own. Strange combination. There's clearly strawberries in there, but also it's quite chemically as well. Seems like there was a mix of strawberry and chemical gel. Let's give that a little bit of a mix and a taste on the cracker. Again, cracker doesn't really add to it, the crisp bread, just gives it a base for it to sit, make it go a little bit further, turn it into a bit more of a dessert. Decent tasting. There is definitely strawberry in there, but also quite a lot of chemical thickening agent. Let's have a taste of this lemon tea. Smells a little bit like the lime. It's very mild, very light lime flavoured. It's very much similar to, with it being hot, there's a cold remedy we have here in the UK, what we call lemsips. It's basically a hot lemon drink with paracetamol and various other cold helping agents in there. Very much similar tasting to that. If you like the lemsip type drink, that's very nice. It's very light, it's very refreshing. And I'm going to finish off by looking at the cranberry bar. I say it is a rice paper, that bit peeled off, but we'll have a taste of that one. It's a compressed bar of cranberries. It's not overly sweet. It's a very plain flavour. It's not one of the tastiest bars. The fig bars I've had and the prune and date ones have been better. Very much lacking on the fruit flavour. It's sweet. It's an energy bar. Obviously contains fruit, but again, not the most tasty energy bar I've eaten. Okay, so another drink of this tea. Summary of the final meal. The English stew, or English goulash, as the name suggests, certainly is not. That is not a stew, it is not a goulash, it is a tinned luncheon meat. I've warmed it up. I'm sure if I hadn't warmed it up, I've tried the luncheon meats before, they're very good. Now I've warmed it, it's just not the way to eat that. It's ruined it, which is a real shame, but mislabelled massively. That is not a stew by any means, or a goulash. The jam certainly contains strawberries. It's very sweet, it's very smooth, but it's also a bit rubbery, as you can see. It's got a texture that's chemically set, not like a natural set jam. But on the cracker, on the crisp bread, it adds an element to the crisp bread and makes it a bit of sweetness for after the main meal. The cranberry bar, again, it's a little bit disappointing. Not a lot of flavour. It looks like cardboard, breaks like cardboard, and to be honest, doesn't taste much different to cardboard really. There is a flavour of cranberry there, but not a lot. Come back to the lime tea. Again, it's refreshing. Reminds you of the drinks you have when you've got a cold, the lemon drinks. If you like that flavour, it's palatable, it's drinkable. So, overall summary. The breakfast meal was very nice, very refreshing. The Hungarian goulash was nice and tasty. The lunchtime menu, the meatballs, very processed like chicken meatballs, but still again a nice hearty, very tasty meal. The evening meal, in my opinion, a big disappointment, mainly because of the description. If they hadn't have said that was a stew, I wouldn't have warmed it, and I'm sure that would have been a nice luncheon meat. The jam is what it is. It's a sweet preserve, but I wouldn't say it's a very natural jam. And the fruit bar, out of all of the bars I've tried, this is the worst. It's not got a lot of flavour, it's not got a lot of texture, and there's not a lot going for it. So I'm going to leave it there. The SRG 6, it has fueled me throughout the day. It is now only 8:30, coming up to 8:30 at night, so it makes me wonder, if I was on active service out in the field, there's not a lot left to eat through the night till you get your next pack. So although it unpacked and looked like a lot of food, after the 3 basic meals, if I was going to spend the whole night on manoeuvres, I don't know if there was enough in there. Another dish might be needed for what's called a 24-hour pack, but I'll leave you to decide that. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification button for future videos coming very soon. So thank you and goodbye.